moja tumekubaliana kwamba hiyo impending impeachment iahirishwe na itolewe, na sasa tumekubaliana governor aendelee na kazi, na tumekubaliana kwa muda wa mwezi moja yale marekebisho yawe
Reprieve for Nairobi Governor Arthur Johnson Sakaja as all the MMCAs shelve his impeachment for 1 month.
Madaktari hawa wanafaa kuwa kazini, lakini kushinda kila siku kwa barabara, sauti yetu haisikiki.
Grievances zetu hazisikizwi. Ya kwanza ikiwa ni ya promotion, ya pili ikiwa redesignation.
Lamu County health paralysis as doctors go on strike over unpaid salaries.
A disagreement between the victim and the suspect over issues to deal with the ablution block. And then the disagreement escalated, and other friends of the deceased.
And bathroom quarrel stands deadly as University of Nairobi kills roommate in toilet dispute. Right, we're live across our social media platforms, that is on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Our SMS line is 23059. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Laura Omondi. My name is Macharia, and EBN Prime Edition starts now. Now, Bomet Governor Hilary Barchok, former Bungoma Governor Wycliffe Wangamati, and 10 other suspects charged with corruption-related offences have been released on bond after denying the charges at the anti-corruption court in Milimani. Governor Barchok was freed on a bond of 15 million Kenya shillings or a cash bail of 5 million, while Wangamati secured his release on 5 million Kenya shillings bond or an alternative of 1.5 million cash bail. Delivering the ruling, Principal Magistrate Zipora Gichana ordered all suspects to surrender their passports within 7 days. They were further barred from interfering with witnesses or making public statements about the ongoing case. The mention of both cases has been scheduled for 17th and 18th September, respectively.
A bond of 5 million, in the alternative a cash bail of 1.5 million. These terms also apply to the accused number 6 and 7. Are we clear? Yes. Okay. So then we have the second and third accused, and their bonds have been set at 1 million, and in the alternative a cash bail of 400,000 each. These terms also apply to the fifth accused. The fourth accused is a bond of 10 million, in the alternative a cash bail of 2.5 million. The eighth accused is a bond of 8 million, in the alternative a cash bail of 2 million. And then we have accused 9, 10 and 11 banded together, each of them a bond of.
Right, at the same time, ward representatives from Bungoma County under the Ford Kenya Party have criticized former Bungoma Governor Wycliffe Wangamati for blaming National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula over his legal troubles. Wangamati, who served as governor between 2017 and 2022, appeared before the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, that is the EACC, facing allegations of misappropriating 70 million Kenya shillings in collusion with his associates. He reportedly attributed some of the challenges to Speaker Wetangula. Now, Ford Kenya representatives, led by Majority Leader Joseph Nyongesa, Musikoma Ward representatives, that is George Makari, Milima Ward Rep, that is Jerusa Aleu, and Luadanyi Ward Rep, that is Tony Barasa, among others, called on Wangamati and his allies to respect Speaker Wetangula and take responsibility for their actions amid the ongoing corruption cases.
Kitu ambaye nafaa tujiulize kama wakaaji wa Bungoma ni kwamba jambo la kwanza ni je, ulipokuwa gavana wa jimbo la Bungoma, hizi kampuni ambazo walisitacha wakasiorodhesha silifanya kazi na wewe ama hapana? Jambo lingine ambalo pia lafaa tujiulize ni kwamba hao wakurugenzi ama directors wa hizo kampuni ni ndugu zako ama hapana? Kwa sababu hii mambo ya asset recovery ilianza mwaka wa 2021 hapo, wewe ukiwa gavana wakati ya COVID-19 pia, sijui hapo Mheshimiwa Moses Wetangula anaingilia wapi. Wakati huo hata hakuwa speaker. Sasa tunaposema ya kwamba yeye ndiye anasukuma haya maneno, pia tunadanganya wananchi na tunachitanganya sisi wenyewe kama viongozi. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Wangamati na wale wafuasi wako pia tunakusihi tu ukuwe na heshima kwa Mheshimiwa Moses Masika Wetangula. Haya yaliyofanyika na hizo kampuni wewe mwenyewe unajua. Na tena pia nataka niambie wale mawakili wa Mheshimiwa Gavana ni kwamba as a professional, unajua sio rahisi pia utapatape na maneno bila kujua sheria inasema nini. Kwa mambo ya asset recovery tulikuwa na kampuni ambazo ziliorodheshwa. Mambo ya conflict of interest tunajua iko katika katiba yetu. Badala ya kungangana na msiko ambao umetupata, tunangangana na maneno ambayo hayahusiki na vile hali inaenda.
Tunasikitika kwamba former governor wetu aliingizwa ndani jana, na tunamhurumia kwanza. Lakini unajua wanasema msiba wa kujitakia hauna kilio. Kwanza sisi kama assembly wale tumekuwa from 2017 tunajua kwamba in fact 70 million is just the tip of the iceberg. Yale tunajua hata hii dual carriageway scandal yenye iko ndani EACC haijakundua. Scholarship yenye ilikuwa scholarship hata EACC haijaingia hapo. Wakiingia hapo Governor Wangamati hawatawahi toka ndani ya jela, because it's a very big scandal. So it's 70 million, my friend. Alafu tena unapata is just only the family, which means Bungoma ilikuwa ina kazi zinafanywa na family members pekee. Maana EACC imefanya tukakundua family members pekee ndio walikuwa wanafanya, and friends, a few friends. So kitu nataka niseme, wacha wale watu sheria ina wakata watoe Wetangula kwa mdomo yao.
Right, moving on, ODM leader Raila Odinga and Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja have successfully persuaded Nairobi County Assembly ODM members to suspend an impeachment motion against the governor. The decision was reached after a closed-door meeting between the two leaders and the ODM ward representatives. Now speaking at the press after the deliberations, Nairobi ODM chairman George Aladwa confirmed that the MCAs had agreed to give Governor Sakaja a 1-month grace period to reform his leadership approach and address concerns raised by the county assembly. Now the truce is expected to ease political tension in Nairobi County as Sakaja faces mounting criticism over his administration, management and service delivery.
Katika maongeo yetu ambayo tumekuwa nao kwa masaa 4-5 ambayo yamepita, tumeongea na watu wamezungumza na MCAs wametoa mambo yao na yamesikizwa, na vile vile pia leadership wametoa mambo yao ikasikizwa. Kwa hivyo kwa kauli moja tumekubaliana kwamba hiyo impending impeachment yairishwe na itolewe, na sasa tumekubaliana governor aendelee na kazi na vile vile ajumuike na akapewa pia marekebisho ambayo anafaa kufanya katika uongozi wake katika kaunti ya Nairobi. Na pia governor ametoa malalamiko yake na vile vile akaomba msamaha kwa wale MCAs wote, na tumekubaliana kwa muda wa mwezi moja yale marekebisho yao yamefanywa na tuone mji wa Nairobi ikiendelea. Tumesema ututaki siasa mbaya katika mji wa Nairobi. Kwa hivyo governor na huru wa kuendelea kazi yake hata kwa na impending impeachment ambayo itakuwa imewekwa.
Right, now let's talk matters. Healthcare and doctors and other health workers in Lamu County have joined nurses in a strike that has led to the suspension of all healthcare services across the county. Now, the industrial action, which took place in Peketoni town, comes after the county government allegedly ignored the workers' grievances. Now, the health professionals cited unpaid salaries for the past 3 months, lack of promotions, and threats at the workplace, among other challenges, as reasons for the strike. Speaking during the demonstrations, the doctors emphasized that the strike is a last resort after repeated attempts to address the issues with the county administration proved unsuccessful.
Sekta ya afya ni ile sekta muhimu sana. Madaktari hawa wanafaa kuwa kazini, lakini kushinda kila siku kwa barabara, sauti yetu haisikiki. Hii ndio kitu inatushangaza sana na kaunti hii ya Lamu. Ukiangalia kaunti zingine, mgomo ilianza tarehe kwa wauguzi, mgomo ilianza tarehe 8. kaunti nyingi wamerudi kazini. Hii yetu tukianza tu mgomo hii lazima upate mambo mengine yanatoka huku. Ile matako ya wafanyikazi wa afya haisikizwi.
Ile kitu tumeamua kufanya huyu mgomo sahihi ni kwamba grievances zetu hazisikizwi. Ya kwanza ikiwa ni ya promotion, ya pili ikiwa redesignation, ya tatu ikiwa mambo ya salary delay, ya nne intimidation, mambo ya politics kuingizwa kwa healthcare workers. Kwa hivyo sisi hatuna nia mbaya na serikali. Tunaipenda serikali yetu na we respect it, lakini tuwaomba nayo serikali akiwa gavana wetu na waziri wetu wa afya watusikize. Walete hii mambo chini, wakalie chini, wazungumze na wasuluhishe, kila mtu apate haki yake na sisi turudi tukiwa na raha tuweze kupeana huduma kwa wananchi wetu.
Kuanzia leo tarehe 2 mwezi wa 9, wahudumu wote wa afya ambao wamehitimu sawasawa hawako hospitalini. Mkienda huko hospitalini, wale ambao wanahudumu saa hizi ni ambao hawajaweza kuhitimu sawasawa. Kwa hivyo sasa tunaweza kuambia wananchi waweze kutafuta huduma za afya, huduma mbadala, kwa sababu hatuna wahudumu ambao wanahitimu kazini kwa sasa.
Inauma sana kama sisi wahudumu wa afya ikifika kwamba mtu amehudumu katika job group moja kwa muda mrefu, na ukiona unapata yani hii ukiwa itabidi sasa itafika mahali ambapo mtu aenda retire, lakini na ile job group ya kuingia utapata yule ambaye ameingia pengine nyuma yako utapata yeye amesonga. Ukiuliza amefanya lipi la mno, upewi sababu ambayo inaridhisha.
Right, moving on to some tragic story right now. Police in Kikuyu have arrested a University of Nairobi student suspected of fatally stabbing his roommate following a dispute over bathroom use. Now, the victim, Brian Wamboi, a third-year student, succumbed to his injuries after the disagreement escalated. Witnesses reported that the quarrel originated from conflicts over toilet use and cleaning duties. Omondi Ogola, a police officer attached to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, that is the DCI in Kikuyu, confirmed that the incident and urged students to consider alternative dispute resolution mechanisms to avoid such tragedies. The victim's body has been taken to PCA Dogoto Hospital mortuary for postmortem, while the suspect, Justus Otieno, is being held at Kikuyu Police Station pending further investigations and arraignment.
We received a report from one of the security officers from the University of Nairobi Kikuyu campus, that there had been an incident where one student had stabbed another. The student was rushed to PCA Kikuyu Hospital, where later on we learned that the student had passed on. We suspect that the death was caused by the stab injury. So I'm here to confirm that we took up the matter. The police and the DCI and the members of the community worked together. The investigations were carried out. We were able to apprehend the suspect. The suspected murder weapon was secured, and today the suspect has been arraigned to court. We are seeking custodial orders so that we can further the investigations. We are yet to establish the motive of the attack, and once the investigations are complete, we will be recommending charges. The student, both the victim and the suspect are University of Nairobi students, Kikuyu campus. The cause of the quarrel, preliminarily we find that there was a disagreement between the victim and the suspect over issues to deal with the ablution block. And then the disagreement escalated, and other friends of the deceased joined in, and that is when the suspect maybe dashed to the house to get a weapon to defend himself. But the actual motive, the investigation will reveal, and then we will keep the media posted on what we find out. Let us see how we can be able to de-escalate issues, especially where we stay together as a people, right? I know we have issues with, as a student, we have pressures, exam, and all those other things. But once there is a quarrel, there's a disagreement, which is human to disagree. Let us first of all find ways of de-escalating the issues, and then after de-escalating the issues, reason will prevail. Now we have two futures that have been really shattered: the future of the deceased, and really the future of the suspect, if charged and convicted. It is not something to smile.
Right, quite unfortunate story right there. It is exactly 17 minutes past the top of the hour. We're due for a short breather here on EBN Prime Edition, but we'll be back in just a bit.
Session will not be done in camera because the issue,
and by doing so, they are not in compliance with Article 246 of the Constitution. And as an oversight committee in charge of the implementation of the Constitution, we feel that the Inspector General must appear before us to explain why the Commission is not functioning.
Now, the Ministry of Health has retracted its earlier position on confirming universal health coverage, that is UHC staff, to permanent and pensionable terms. In a joint meeting with the Council of Governors, the ministry agreed to form a special committee tasked with addressing the challenges affecting county governments in the management of health services. The move comes after mounting pressure from health workers and county leaders who argued that the lack of clarity on UHC staff employment terms was creating uncertainty and affecting service delivery. According to the resolutions, the committee will engage relevant stakeholders to streamline employment, management, and resource allocation within the health sector.
The Council of Governors and the Ministry of Health will work collaboratively to resolve all pertinent issues concerning UHC contracts, and we agree that their contract runs until the end, which is for most of them April, May 2026. But in this intervening period, we pay them at the SRC rates using the money that the ministry has.
The transition, the issue that is pending is for us to transfer and for the counties to do permanent and pensionable. The money must be factored in and seen in the Division of Revenue Act. The next Division of Revenue Act is next year, financial year. So we have agreed, the money Treasury has provided, so that 7.7 will be transferred and will be factored in and will feature in the Division of Revenue Bill. And that is when the issue of our UHRC finally will be completed.
Right, moving on to some devastating story, and a devastating fire swept through Diani, Kwale County, destroying 5 villas and causing property losses worth millions of shillings. Witnesses reported that the blaze originated from a nearby restaurant before rapidly spreading to the villas. Business owners affected by the fire expressed concerns that the incident could negatively impact tourism in the area, which relies heavily on hospitality and rental accommodations. Authorities are investigating the cause of the fire, while emergency services worked to contain the flames and prevent further destruction.
Imetoka nyumba ambayo iko kama 300 meters away from here, lakini kwa sababu zote ni makuti, imespread very fast. Spark moja ikitoka nyumba moja ikiruka kwa the next, ndio hivyo imespread mpaka sasa tukapatikana nyumba 5 hapa kwetu.
Niko na moshi. Sasa nilipokuwa nimeona moshi, nikaita wenzangu nikamwambia kuna moshi. Sasa wale wenzangu walipotoka, tukatoka nje ya gate tukaenda kuangalia, tukaona jirani kweli moshi uko juu, ndo sasa tukaona moto unaendelea kwa nyumba, unapelekwa na upepo.
We had obviously several bookings already for the end of the year, particularly for the festive season, which is for us representing a very high income, where we can do like 25% of our yearly income just during that period. So we will have to cancel obviously all the bookings and we will lose this money.
Kitu ambacho nilikuwa naomba kwa serikali ya county, hii firefighter wakuwe tu karibu hapa maeneo ya hizo hotels, kusudi moto ukitokea kama hivi ikuwe ni haraka kufika.
It was a villa that we are using also for business purposes, and right now ni wakati wageni wanafaa waingie sasa kuja wakodeshe, na tulikuwa na watu wanakuja, lakini sasa saizi tunashindwa vile itakuwa.
Right, now let's talk matters politics. And Wiper Party leader and former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka has issued a scathing statement criticizing the current administration, accusing it of rather raising political intolerance and mismanagement of public resources. Speaking to the press, Kalonzo called for equal security for all citizens, warning that no individual or group can claim ownership of the country. He condemned systematic failures under President William Ruto's government, highlighting scandals related to the mismanagement and sale of key infrastructure. Education featured prominently in his critique, with Kalonzo pointing out delays in the disbursement of capitation funds, which he says have forced many pupils to be sent home due to unpaid school fees. He described these failures as cruel and unacceptable, urging the government to take immediate corrective action.
There is something fundamentally wrong with the state of our nation under the existing regime. Scandal after scandal and attempts to sell off Kenya's crucial infrastructure on the cheap are the modus operandi of this disgraced regime. This is the reason why Kenyans from all corners of our country simply have hashtag one term as their #1 agenda. Shall I repeat one term?
One term.
One term.
One term.
One term.
One term.
Education, for example, is in shambles from primary through to the university. Pupils are being sent home for lack of school fees because of this government's perpetual failure to release capitation funds to schools on time. In the case of the universities, students have received SMSs indicating that their accounts have been credited, only to be turned down on the date of admission. This false information is cruel on Kenyan families, but is the unfortunate methodology of the Ruto regime. This must come to an end. Basic education is a constitutional right that the previous regimes have honored. Why is Ruto not able to continue with this? Where is our money? Capitation must be released today, not tomorrow. University funding must also be made available to all our universities. Mr. Ruto, please stop playing with Kenya's future.
Right, moving on, the Democracy for Citizens Party, that is DCP, has officially unveiled Simon Sanare Saidimu as its candidate for Poko Ward in the upcoming November by-election. The unveiling was led by DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua and other leaders who described Sanare as rather an accomplished leader, patriot, and a true people's representative. Now, speaking during the event, Gachagua expressed confidence in Sanare's ability to connect with the Mwananchi and advocate for the community's interest. Addressing recent clashes in Ole Tipis, Narok, Gachagua urged the Mak and Kikuyu communities to engage elders in the dialogue to resolve the disputes peacefully.
Asante sana, leo niko na furaha sana kwa niaba ya chama chetu cha DCP kumulete na kumtawaza mgombea kiti cha wakilishi bungeni ya ward ya Purko katika Kajiado ya Kati, katika Kajiado County, na nataka nichukue nafasi hii kujulisha watu wetu wote katika hiyo ward ya Purko ya kwamba Bwana Simon Sanare Saidimu ndio atapeperusha bendera yetu ya chama cha DCP. Na ya kwamba kulikuwa na candidate wawili ambaye wameketi na wazee pale katika Purko ward kufuatilia na kufuatana na mila na desturi za Wama, ya kwamba ni mzuri wazee kuongea, na mimi nataka nishukuru wazee katika ward hiyo wakasema hao wote watoto ni wetu, ni wa chama moja, ni wa boma moja, wanapendana na hakuna haja waende kupigana, na ikakubalika wazee wakiwepo ya kwamba Bwana Sanare ndio akuwe candidate wetu. Kwa hivyo nataka sasa muende nyumbani, muweke mikakati kabambe ya kutafuta kura, mutembee kwa kila boma, muongee na wazee, muongee na wamama, muongee na vijana, mpigie yeye campaign ya kila pahali ndio apate umaarufu ambaye unatakikana. Na hii uchaguzi ndio matayarisho yetu pia ya DCP kuja kunyakua hiyo kiti ya Kajiado Central katika uchaguzi mkuu ujao, na pia ni matayarisho ya kuja kunyakua viti yote ya women rep, ya senator na ya governor katika Kajiado County. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka kuomba nyinyi musilale, mufanye kazi usiku na mchana, na ile wakati mutahitaji mimi nitakuwa tayari kuja pia kumpigia debe na kumfanyia campaign. Mkitaka wale vijana wangu wananisaidia pia watafika ile wakati ambayo mtapanga. Kwa hivyo ile mipango yote mtafanya, mkituhitaji sisi tuko tayari.
Right, it is exactly 32 minutes past the top of the hour. That note to wrap up our program here on EBN Prime Edition. Many thanks, of course, keeping us company until this particular minute. Our sign language interpreter tonight has been Laura Mondi. My name is Martin Macharia. Do have yourself a lovely night. And let's meet again when God says we do.